Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another knitting tutorial. Today we are going to do something for the holidays. So these are just some little coasters that I've made, and these make a great quick little stocking stuffer or like hostess gift or something that you can knit up or crochet up really quickly, and using some scrap yarn, which is really nice. So I'm going to teach you two different versions today. These ones here, these two are knitted. So they're knitted in the round, starting from the inside and moving out. And these two are actually crocheted, and I'm not much of a crocheter, and you'll see I don't really crochet correctly, but these are my preferred method of making coasters because I find them to be a little bit easier. So I figured I'd show both of them today, just cause, and then you can laugh at my crocheting technique because it is not awesome. So anyway, I think we'll start with the knitted ones. You can see it's just like some stockinette stitch, and then I did like a little garter stitch in the border. These are highly customizable, so you can kind of do whatever you want with them. As you can see, this is with a little bit thicker yarn. This is with worsted weight yarn and bigger needles. That's what I'll show today. And this is just with fingering weight yarn and smaller needles, and it just means that you need to keep going for longer. You need to do more rounds in order to make it a similar width or a similar diameter. So for our knitted versions today, we're going to need some double pointed knitting needles. I'm going to use these size 8, that's upside down, sorry, size 8, 5mm wooden needles, and you'll need 4 of them. I'm also going to use 2 different colors of yarn, and what we're going to do is we're going to hold the colors together and knit with them both at the same time to create a kind of marled effect. So just like you see here, I was holding together the purple and the gray in order to knit this coaster here. So we'll do the same thing with the gray and the red. So to begin, we're going to cast on 6 stitches. So we'll make our slip knot, and put it onto our needle. I'm going to use the long tail cast on. You can use whatever cast on you choose. So we're going to cast on 1, 2, well, technically that's 3 because our slip knot was 1. Sorry. So now we have 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 stitches, and now we're going to join them in the round. So we're going to divide them on the needles and have 2 stitches on each needle, and then the 4th needle will be our working needle. Alright, so the beginning part of this is assuredly the hardest to kind of get started knitting in the round when you have so few stitches. So you can see our yarn, our working yarn is coming off of this needle, so we're going to begin here. And we're just going to knit. So get our working yarn situated. We're going to knit 1, 2, and move on to our next needle. knit 1, 2, and move on to our next needle. So you see how it can be a little troublesome at first. 1, 2. Now we've come back to the beginning of our round. I just pulled the tail a little bit to tighten it up, and we can do that some more at the end to get rid of the little hole. So at this point, our next row, we're going to increase. We're going to increase by the same amount of stitches we cast on. So that means we're going to increase on every stitch. So I'm going to knit into the front and the back of this stitch. So knit into the front, and then we haven't removed the stitch from the needle because we're going to turn around and knit. I know a little tight here. Sorry. Knit through the back. This, as you can see, please learn from my mistakes. It's easier to do if your stitches are a little bit looser. So we're going to knit through the front and then knit through the back of the same stitch. And now we have 4 stitches on this needle. So I need to do the same for the next 2 needles. Knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back. This does get easier, but you'll see, like, this is actually why I prefer the crochet version. It's a little easier to handle. So now our final needle, we're going to knit front and knit back and knit front and knit back. So now we have increased from 6 stitches to 12 stitches. We have 4 stitches on each needle. So now we're going to knit an even round. We're actually going to knit 2 even rounds, which means just straight knitting. You do have to be careful here to keep track, because it's hard to tell where the beginning of your round is, right? So this is our first needle. This is our second needle. And our third and final needle. Great. So now we're going to knit 1 more even round. Okay, so we've just finished with our second even round, and now we're going to increase again. And just like last time, we are going to double the amount of stitches. So we're going to increase in every single stitch. So we're going to knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back, and we're going to keep doing this until the end of the round. So now you can see our circle has gotten a little bigger, and we have 24 stitches on the needle now. So 8 stitches on each needle. And now we're going to work 4 even rounds. So one thing that I like to do at this point, just to make figuring out your place where the beginning of your round is, to make that a little easier, I like putting more stitches on the final needle so that we know when the end of our round is. So I'm just going to slip 2 additional stitches onto that needle, and then just to even things out, I'm going to slip 1 over here. So that's just something that's totally optional, but that's just something you can do so that you know your place in the round a little bit easier. So now we're going to knit 4 rounds without increasing, so just regular knitting. So you're just going to knit across all 24 stitches, just like this. And continue this for 4 whole rounds. Okay, and now we've come to our last increase round that I'm going to do for this coaster. So it's going to be the same. We're going to double our stitches. So we're going to knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back, all the way across the round. If you remember, currently we have 24 stitches on the needles, 7 on the first 2 and 9 on the last. So we're going to increase to 48 stitches. So we'll have 14 stitches on our first needle, 14 on our second needle, and 18 on our last needle. So knit front, knit back, front, and back, repeating. And this is our last increased stitch. So now we have 48 stitches on the needle. So you can see it looks kind of like a little pocket right now, but that's just because it's still on the needles. Once you take it off the needles, it'll be flat. And these knitted ones, I think, benefit from blocking. So, I mean, it's really quick and easy. You just soak them in a little bit of wool wash, or you could even just soak them in water for a little bit, and then pin them out flat. And that helps them to kind of lay flat like this without curling up too much at the sides, or without puffing up too much in the middle. They still do puff up a little bit in the middle, but also after putting glasses on them over and over again, that gets the puff up in the middle gets better. So we've come to the edge, so I'm going to work the edge and garter stitch. And since we're working in the round, garter stitch means we're going to have to purl 1 round and then knit 1 round and repeat that. So I'm going to purl this next round even. So just purl across all 48 stitches. Purling, purling. We're just going to purl to the end of the round. So we finished our purl round. We can see our purl ridge there. And now, since we're working in garter stitch, we're going to knit 1 round. So let's knit every stitch across all 3 needles. Knit 48 stitches across. Okay, that was our knit round, and now we're going to purl one more round, and this will be our last round before we bind off. So let's purl 48 stitches all the way to the end of the round, purling. And we're coming to the end of our last round. And now, you can see our coaster shaping up nicely. We're going to bind off. Now, for this bind off, we want it to be a little bit stretchier because, as you can see, we need it to be the edge of our coaster, so you don't want it like being too tight and bunching up. And we don't want it to be too loose either and kind of curling unnecessarily. So to do this, I like using a combination of a regular bind off and a stretchy bind off. So if you're not familiar with the stretchy bind off, I did a bind off tutorial a few months ago on my channel that talks about Jenny's super stretchy or surprisingly stretchy, whatever it's called, bind off. So we're going to use that method combined with the regular method. And what we're going to do is we're going to bind off 2 stitches in the regular method and then 1 in the stretchy method and repeat that. So I've knit 1, I've knit another, and now we're going to pass the first stitch over the second stitch to bind it off. Now we're going to do that one more time. And now we're going to do a stretchy bind off for this stitch. So to do the stretchy bind off, we're actually going to yarn over and then knit 1. And then we're going to pass both the yarn over and the knitted stitch over the other stitch. So now we'll bind off 2 regular. And even with the regular bind off, try to keep it pretty loose. And now we'll do a stretchy, so we'll yarn over and pass the yarn over and the knitted stitch over, 2 regular, pass the slip stitch over, another regular, pass the slip stitch over, and a stretchy bind off, so yarn over, knit 1. We can pass them both over at the same time just to save a little time. Regular bind off, regular bind off, stretchy bind off, yarn over, knit 1, pass both stitches over, we'll do a regular bind off. And now we can put this needle to the side. We don't need it anymore. So let's take a look at what we have. You can see it kind of shaping up. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue that to the end of the round. So I left off, I had knit 1 regular stitch, or 1 regular bind off. So we'll do another regular bind off. Then we'll do a stretchy bind off. And let's continue this until the end of the round. We are almost at the end of our round. We're going to do our last stretchy bind off. Then we're just going to do 2 regular bind offs. Now we're done with that at this point, we're done with this needle too. We're just going to, you can cut your yarn. I don't have scissors right now, so I'm going to cut my yarn later. I'm just going to tie it off. So this is our wrong side. And here's our right side. So you can see it does look like bunch up a little bit in the middle. And this is why I said it can benefit from blocking. So you can weave in the ends, and when you weave in this end, you can make it so that there's not this weird little gap there, so it looks a little more seamless. And then we can use, when weaving in this end, we can kind of close up any remaining gap in here. There shouldn't be too much. So that is the knitted version of our coasters. You can see all of them laid out really nicely. Oops. So I think a really nice thing to do, a really nice gift idea, if you're doing like a stocking stuffer or something, or a hostess gift, you could do a set and maybe do like multiple colors. So you could do like 6 coasters in 3 different colors. So you could have one of the colors always be like the gray, and then have some different other colors. So like gray and red, gray and purple. You could do gray and green, and kind of have a set that's matching, but not entirely the same. So I think that's a cute little idea. So moving on to our crocheted version, my preferred version, you'll see why. I didn't really want to show this, but just because I'm so bad at crocheting. I usually only crochet when I have to, like, or I crochet blankets, and like if I'm doing borders on like some of my knit items. But this is pretty easy. It's just all single crochet in a circle. This one's a little bigger. This one you can see is pretty old and flattened out. So this is what happens. This is how it looks after having like a whole lot of drinks put on it over and over again. So, but with this one you can see the circles pretty well. And I think this one is actually, I did it in half double crochet, which you can also do. So you see this one's in single crochet and this is half double crochet. You can do either one, whatever you prefer. Half double will go a little faster. That's probably why this one's a little wider too. But for this tutorial we're going to do single crochet for the whole thing. So for this we'll need a crochet hook. And once again I'm going to use 2 different colors of yarn that I'm going to hold together. This yarn is fingering weight yarn. I have a lot of scrap fingering weight yarn because I knit so many socks. So that's why we're going to use the smaller crochet hook. This is a F something, 3.75 millimeter. This is crochet hook. So to begin, we're going to create a magic circle, and then we're going to crochet into that magic circle to create our starting point. So to do the magic circle, we're going to wrap our yarn in a little X, and we're going to stick our crochet hook under the bottom and then over the top, and we're going to pull and twist to pull up a loop onto the crochet hook. And then we're going to stick the crochet hook under this top one once again and pull this through our existing loop. And what this is doing, there we go, pull that over. What this is doing is it's created our slip knot. So now we have our slip knot and we have our magic ring. And what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet all around our magic ring, and we're going to single crochet 8. So we're going to start with a chain stitch. I'm sorry, I've never actually done like a beginning crochet tutorial, so just imagine that you already know how to crochet, and probably some of you know how to crochet better than I do. So you will notice that I'm holding the crochet hook and the yarn in my right hand. That is not typically what you would do, as I found out, but I'm self-taught and that is what I do. That's what I find comfortable, so sorry. In any case, we're going to begin by chaining 1, then we're going to single crochet, we're going to single crochet 8 times. That's 2. Get rid of our tail here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we've crocheted 8 into our magic loop. Now we're going to take the tail and we're going to pull it tight. So now you see we have our own little circle. How cute. So this will be the center of our coaster. And crochet is easy because you can see exactly how many stitches you have just by counting the V's. 5, 6, 7, 8. So at this point we're going to do a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round just to close the loop. Okay, so now we have a circle. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet twice into each stitch. So we have 8 stitches here, and we're going to single crochet twice into each of them, so it's going to increase from 8 to 16 stitches. So we'll start by chaining 1 always, and now we're going to begin with the first V. We're going to stick our crochet hook through and single crochet, and now in that same stitch we're going to do a second single crochet. So now we have 2 single crochets in that first stitch. Now we're going to single crochet 2 in our second stitch, and single crochet 2 in our third stitch. Single crochet 2 in our fourth stitch. Single crochet 2 in our fifth stitch. Single crochet 2 in our, what are we on? Our sixth stitch. Two in our seventh stitch. Two in our last stitch. And now we're back, and you can see that we now have 16 stitches on our, not on our needles, my god. We have 16 little crochet stitches around our circle. We're going to slip stitch to connect. So you can see our nice little coaster here. We're going to begin our next round with a chain stitch. And now we are going to do, across the whole round, we're going to single crochet twice into the first stitch, just like we did before. So we're going to increase here, single crochet 1, single crochet 2 into the same stitch. That's our increase. And now we're going to do just 1 single crochet into the second stitch. So we're not going to increase this stitch. And then we're going to repeat those. So we're going to alternate increasing, so we're going to increase every other stitch. So in our third stitch, we're going to single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and then in our fourth stitch, single crochet 1. Fifth stitch, we're going to single crochet 1, single crochet 2 into the same stitch, sixth stitch, we're going to single crochet 1, single crochet 2 into the seventh stitch, 1, 2, single crochet 1 into the eighth stitch. So that's half of our round done. Single crochet. So our ninth stitch, single crochet 2 into this stitch, 1, 2 into the same stitch. 10th stitch, just do 1 single crochet. 11, 1, 2 into the same stitch, increase. 12th stitch, just 1, no increase. Single crochet 2 into the 13th stitch, single crochet 1 into the 14th stitch. Here's our last 2 stitches. We're going to single crochet 2 into the 15th stitch, and then single crochet 1 into our final stitch. Perfect. So now we're going to slip into the first stitch of the round, and that's one more round completed. So for the next round, we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to single crochet 2 into the first stitch, and then we're going to work stitch number 2 and stitch number 3 just in single crochet. So we're going to increase in the first stitch and then do no increases for 2 stitches. Increase, no increases for 2 stitches. So you'll see there's a pattern here. So every round we add 1 additional single crochet with no increase. So for this round, we're going to increase 1, work 2 even, increase 1, work 2 even. So we'll begin by chaining 1. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So there's our increase. And then we're going to knit 2 even. 1, 2. Next stitch, we're going to increase, so 2 single crochets go into this stitch. And then work 2 stitches without increasing. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch. Now we're going to increase, so 2 single crochets go in here. And next 2 stitches without increasing. So we're going to continue this until the end of the round. So that was the end of our, I don't even know what round it was, 3rd round? I think 3rd round. If you don't count the crochet into the magic circle as a round. So we're going to chain 1, and now I bet you can guess what comes next. So we're going to work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and this is our 4th round, so we're going to increase every 4. So we've increased, and now we're going to work 3 single crochets even. So the next 3 stitches, just work 1 single crochet into each stitch. So that's our 4. So next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch to increase. And now we're going to work 3 stitches even. And we're going to repeat this until the end of the circle. 2 into this. Three even. Repeat, repeat, repeat. I'm going to slip stitch to join. So it does start looking a little bit hexagonal. You can block this one too to make it look nice and round. Another variation you could do, you don't have to do the slip stitch to join. You could just keep crocheting around and around, and that'll create, instead of like circles, it'll create more of like a spiral. So that's another option you can do. There's kind of a lot of options with this one. You could work it in half double crochet, you could work it in double crochet. I don't think I'd recommend working it in triple crochet because it would probably just have a lot of holes in it and would not really serve its purpose as a coaster. So you're going to continue doing this for basically as long as you want. So for as wide as you want your coaster to be, this wide in diameter. And each round you're going to do an increase and then the same amount of even stitches. So like this is round 5, so you do increase and then 4 even without increasing. So for round 5 you're going to do a 5 increase or a 5 stitch repeat for increases. So increase, knit 4 even. On the round after that you're going to increase, knit 5 even. The round after that, increase, knit 6 even. So I think you kind of get what that would be like. On the final round, I like to do, we're just going to pretend for the sake of this tutorial that we would like a mini coaster, and so this is our final round. So we're going to chain 1. And then for the final round, I just like doing a single crochet all the way around without increasing. And this just makes it, I think, a little bit more of like a border. Like it looks the same because the stitches are the same, but let me show you what it does. It just makes it so that the sides curl up just slightly to give like a little base for your drink. So I like doing that. That's optional, but I like single crocheting around the entire circle without increasing to finish. And unlike the knitted one, one of the reasons I like the crocheted ones is because you can really see what it's going to look like as you're making it, right? Like with the knitted one, you can't really tell what it's going to look like until you take it off the needles, and you can't really tell like even how big it is. It's a little hard to tell. Whereas this, you can literally lay it out and measure it while it's on your crochet hook because you only have 1 stitch on the hook at a time. And then when you're finished with this, you would just cut the yarn and bring it through and tie a knot, and then weave in your ends just like you would with the knitted coaster. So I'm gonna probably end here for the purposes of this tutorial. I think you get the point, and You're probably all really sick of watching my terrible crochet technique. So I'm gonna leave that here. You can see our finished objects. And you can do this with any yarn you choose. You don't have to hold two yarns together. I actually think this, I can't remember if I held two yarns together with this one. No, I guess I did. You could do it with just one single yarn as well. You could hold like some sort of sparkly yarn or something. I like holding together a solid with a variegated, so it's multicolor but not too like in your face. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you were in need of any little gift ideas for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you celebrate, solstice, I hope this gave you a cute little gift idea. I'm gonna probably have one more gift little holiday tutorial up soon as well. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is where you are when you're watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.